Hey everybody, I am here with Mr. Bradley Ellis,
Yo.
and we're here to talk Halo Infinite.
Yeah.
So this morning, there's no A3, so where the different studios, different publishers are trying different things to make uh, sort of previews happen, and I was on a Discord channel to watch them go through some Halo Infinite stuff, and yeah, we asked some questions, and disappointingly, frustratingly, the demo that I saw was exactly what you saw
Mm-hmm.
during the Xbox showcase. So there's nothing that I saw that you haven't seen. No,
Okay.
nothing exclusive or anything like that. But they did provide some commentary. Not much. Um, I wish there were more details. I wish things were more concrete. I wish I had more to bring you. But I just kind of have some light clarification.
Okay.
And I want to go over the things they emphasized, and Brad, you can tell me what you think. The
Sure.
first thing that I want to talk about is the number one thing I would say that they emphasized, maybe not the number one thing, but something that they emphasized a lot is this is a spiritual reboot. We want to have that feeling of Halo Combat Evolved, and
Right.
specifically what they mentioned is the second mission when you first get on that Halo ring and you get off the ship and you're exploring. That's the feeling that they're going for. And they kind of repeated that throughout the short demo that I saw. They
Mm-hmm.
want it to be familiar but different, which is what I think a lot of people want.
Yeah.
Brad is. I would say you're kind of like a lapsed Halo fan, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I like Halo. I've played all of them, but we puttered out on what was it, 5?
Yeah.
We didn't finish that one.
Why do you think? Like, was it just the story?
Yeah. It's like story, I guess. Just the combat wasn't interesting to me at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying there's anything wrong with it or anything like that. Just at the time, I wasn't really feeling it.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm gonna be replaying probably 4 and 5 pretty soon to get ready for Infinite. So I'm curious to see how it holds up.
They really talked. They focused a little bit on the pilot that is with Master Chief.
Right.
And something that's interesting is the mission that we saw during the Xbox showcase takes place roughly halfway through the game. Um, so
Oh.
yeah,
Okay.
Chief
Yeah.
and the pilot at that point have spent some time together, and the way they described the pilot is like just a very normal character, like the most normal guy we could put into the situation is how they described it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's somebody that. It's like if you were put into this situation
Yeah.
alongside
They
Master
want
Chief.
someone that you can relate to.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and I know Huber definitely
Yeah.
responded to him quite a bit, and so I'm hoping that the relationship that they have is a highlight of the story
Yeah.
overall.
Definitely.
They announced that Gareth Coker is somebody else along with Curtis Schweitzer. I hope I got that right. Is doing the music. He worked on Ori. Is
Oh, okay.
something to pay attention to there. They did emphasize, and I know that people were worried about this, and there was some speculation after the game showcase that this would be a Destiny-like
Right.
game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they were talking about it as being a platform for Halo going forward, and they said specifically during this presentation that this is not trying to be an RPG. That is not its goal. That is not what it wants to do. You will find upgrades and equipment are through the map, but this is not trying to do the Destiny thing. They were
Right.
pretty
Yeah.
clear about that. There was also some rumors going around that multiplayer and the campaign will be shipping separately. The campaign will come out first, the multiplayer will come out later. Also not true. Multiplayer and the campaign will be shipping together. They just are not talking about multiplayer right now.
That would be crazy
Mm-hmm.
if there was no multiplayer. Man. But Ben, going back to the model of like a service game kind of thing.
Yeah,
When they said that, I didn't expect it to be like RPG esque. I just imagined that's how they were laying out its like foundation of what they're going to be adding to the game.
right.
Like they'll be adding maybe like an expansion or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
like with a new story and some new multiplayer maps. But I don't think you're going to be getting necessarily like big into the numbers as you're with Destiny and gear
Right.
and loot.
Right. I think just Brad, the number one thing that I am curious about and disappointed that it's not clearer is Halo being more open could potentially be cool, but it's hard to know what the flow of the game is going to be like, what the
Right.
scope is going to be, what your objectives are going to be, how that's going to interplay with the story. And that stuff was really not made clear
Yeah.
during this presentation, during the conversation. I still feel like they're being very vague. And on some level, I sympathize with them. Something that they mentioned is they're like, hey, we want to keep some surprise in there for the players. And I imagine it's difficult wanting to clarify, but also keeping that element of surprise. But I do think that that is something that they need to do. I don't have a clear idea of how this game is going to play throughout the campaign.
I think they didn't really give you a reason to be excited that it's open world yet. Like, the
Right.
idea of it being open world is cool, but beyond the idea of it having a vast space, which they said they're going for,
Right.
kind of like how Combat Evolved did, is like telling you why you should be excited it's open world. And we didn't like get that, like you said.
Right.
But I mean, I'm sure they'll show more of it later. But I think it definitely would have helped right now, especially as it's a big reveal. To
Yeah.
give a little more of that.
And having watched the gameplay several times now and seeing some other commentary on it, the gameplay looked like Halo, which is great, but it looked like it could have been any Halo. It's
Sure.
fighting grunts, it's fighting brutes, which the brutes have been away for a while, but it just was a lot of stuff where it's like, yeah, I feel like we've kind of seen this before, and there's not too much outside of the grappling hook, which is called the grapple shot, that was too crazy different. Not that there weren't differences, there were. I don't want to say that, but I think some more uniqueness.
I
would have
think
gone
the
a long way.
open world is the biggest thing to set it apart.
Right,
But we just barely got any of that.
right. But yeah, Brad. Beyond that, there is not much for me to say. Unfortunately, that kind of covers
Yeah,
the bases.
that is kind of frustrating to get a whole lot more details, I guess.
right,
Like, yeah, I totally understand they want to hold stuff off and not show everything, of course.
right,
But man, I wish there was just a little bit more, just a little better of an idea.
right.
Like maybe someone being like, "Hey, here's the open world. You can go from like here to here.
Right.
Here's kind of maybe a few things in the world, I guess, to give you a reason to be excited
Yeah,
about the world besides its scope, like the idea of it being a big world."
yeah. I'm unfortunately pretty underwhelmed at the moment, but there's still
Still
a
lot
little
to
bit of
show.
time. There's still a little bit of time before the game comes out. We haven't gotten our hands on it, and so
Right.
Opinions could definitely change over time.
Absolutely.
But yeah, thanks for sitting down and having this quick chat with me.
Oh yeah, my pleasure, dude.
Bye.